G'day everyone, Dan here and welcome to North Queensland Barbecue and Brewing. Today I'm going to do a roast chicken, but I'm going to do it in the offset smoker. I'm going to give it a crack because I've never done a roast chicken in there before. I usually do them on the rotisserie or I spatchcock them and do them on the braai. But as I'm out of charcoal and I've got this chicken I've got to cook, I'm going to do it in the smoker and try to keep the temperature up a bit higher, see how we go. So I've been watching a few chicken recipes and I usually do my stuffing like this. I'm going to go into that. But yeah, I just figured why not? Let's do something different. So the stuffing, what I'm doing here, I'm going to fry all my ingredients off of my stuffing first, basically pre-cook the stuffing. So you can make stuffing like this, or you can change the recipe up a bit. It doesn't really matter that much, but this is a base of how I'm going to do the stuffing. So firstly, I'll add a little bit of olive oil into my cast iron pan here. I've got this on just a medium heat. I haven't got it too hot. I don't need too much, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan there. And into that, basically I'm going to just put my chorizo sausage. I've diced this chorizo fairly fine. So basically that's just going to go in. And I'm going to just start to let that render all the fat out. So I'll come back in a couple of minutes. I've got a finely diced onion and diced garlic there to go in. So once I've rendered a bit of the fat out of that chorizo, I'll then add my onion. Then I'll add my garlic. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the onion. So now I'll just add that garlic. Give that a good stir in. And in about a minute or so, I'll just let that cook the rawness out for about a minute or so, and then I'll add my panko breadcrumbs, and I'm going to add a bit of cheese to this as well. So I'll add some breadcrumbs to that. Let them cook and absorb that fat. And also, I forgot to add it, I've got this jalapeno left from the other day as well that I used in another recipe, the, the pig shots. So I'll just add that in there as well. Might as well use that up. And those breadcrumbs will start to absorb that moisture. And I'll add this to a steel bowl in a minute, add some cheese, let it cool down. And then that'll basically, what we've got there, that's my stuffing. You can add, so for instance, a little dry at the moment, so I can add a little bit of olive oil just to add a bit more moisture and fat content to that. Don't need to add too much. You can let this cool right down and add an egg to help bind it together, but I'm just going to leave this the way it is and let the juices from the chicken just sort of go through it. I'm not going to add an egg this time. I do sometimes add an egg because that'll help it bind all together and hold together. Right, so I'm happy with that. I'm just going to put this into this silver bowl here, in this stainless bowl, and we'll take it over, we'll get the chicken ready. I've got the offset smoker heating up, so I want to keep it at about 180, 200 degrees during this cook. Alright, so I'm running this smoker at about 200 degrees Celsius, 400 Fahrenheit, so it's pretty hot at the moment. I've got a good charcoal bed happening there. I've got my chicken here, it's a free range chicken. I've got my stuffing, cup of wine, got some thyme and a lime. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the fridge and get the cheese out because I want to add that to my stuffing. I'm going to add a handful of that to the stuffing just to add some cheesiness to it. Why not? Cheese is good with everything. We'll come back and we'll stuff this chicken. So yeah, first things first, I'll add a nice handful of cheese. If I had sun-dried tomatoes, I actually would have loved to have put them in too, but unfortunately I didn't have any. I could have added a bit of tomato paste actually, I didn't think about it, but nah, it's all good. It's only a stuffing, the chicken will give it a fair bit of flavour. So what I do, my wife doesn't like lemon and chicken, so I've got to use lime. And I stuff, basically you got the cavity. So if you're doing a rotisserie, just tip the juice out of there. If you're doing a rotisserie, it's really important, put a lime in both ends. So one here and one there, so that stuffing won't fall out either side. But in this case, I'm really not that worried because it's going to sit in this tray in the smoker. So I'll fill this with the stuffing. Just go in there like that. If you do put egg in, it does hold it together a lot better, but in this case, like I said, I'm not really that worried about it. In a rotisserie, yes, the egg is actually really beneficial, but for all intensive purposes with this, I'm just going to stuff it with as much of this. I've probably got a little too much, but that's okay. And put the lime in the end there like that. That'll steam as it's cooking. Helps just secure it in. I'm going to leave it. I'll just tuck it over like that. That'll be fine. And that's how I'm going to do my chicken. A little bit of stuffing there. So what I'll do here now is into that tray. I'll just set this a bit better. So into that tray there, I'm going to add a cup of white wine. Just into there like that. And then I've got the thyme, so you can leave it at whole or just break it up, let that go in. That'll steam it, add a heap of flavour into that. And I can actually squeeze, we've got the other half of this lime, I can squeeze that as well. I'll go up and get some rub to put on this, and we'll just put some rub and salt and pepper on the outside of that chicken, and then we'll be good to go. We're good to throw it in the oven. What I'll also do is I'll add about half a cup of water to that as well, just to dilute that white wine down. So just a touch of water in there as well. You could use chicken stock if you wished. I'm just going to use a little bit of water. And then onto the top of this, I'll just rub a bit of olive oil in over the top of that. I'll give my hands a quick wash so that I'm not contaminating all my foodstuffs. And onto there, what I'm going to do, I've got Matt Anderson's Scorching Saddle Chili Company. This is habanero rock salt, so it's not too hot. It's a nice, actual, really nice salt. But I'll give it a good coating of that. And then a good douse of black pepper. And then just to add a bit of colour to this, I'm going to add a little bit of sweet paprika just for the colour. Because that'll add that nice brown colour to the skin once it's cooking. The good thing about paprika is it doesn't have a strong taste, so just a touch more salt. And that's it. So we'll put this in the smoker now and get that cooking. Now, because I am running this hotter, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this about the centre here. Just to the firebox side of the centre. So that way, still get a bit of heat coming up, hitting that, start to steam and burn the alcohol off. And I'll start to roast that chicken. So, it's my first try at doing this, so yeah, we'll see how it goes, eh? So just a quick one while I'm doing this. What I've been doing, it's been on for just over an hour, but every 20 minutes or so I've just been opening the lid quickly, and just the juices, I'm just basting the chicken to stop it drying out. It's cooking reasonably quick, so I reckon probably another half an hour I might be good to go, to be honest. Just due to the fact that I've had the temperature up a lot higher than I usually would. With this smoker, it says not to exceed 250 degrees Celsius, I think. No, sorry, 230. So 450 Fahrenheit, 230 Celsius. So I'm keeping it at still about that 200 degree. It's actually sitting about 180, 190 now, so I have let it go down a little bit, but yeah, it's coming along really nicely and it's looking really good too. So probably another half an hour, I'll probably temperature probe that, take it off, and we'll see how we're going. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with how this chicken's at. It's probing about 73, 74 degrees internal, and I've had it on for about 2 hours. The temperature's starting to drop now. I'm not going to waste any more timber. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out, and I'll give you a close-up look at this first. So that is our chicken now sitting at 2 hours cooking. It's actually quite nice. I've been basting it. The skin's still nice and crispy, so pretty happy with that, and it looks like it's pretty tender. So I'm going to take that out, put a bit of alfoil over it, and I'm going to rest it for half an hour. I'm just going to leave it in there, leave it in the pan, rest it for 30 minutes, come back and carve it up. Okay, so I'm upstairs now in the kitchen here, and I've got this chicken which has been resting for about 30 minutes now. So I'm just going to remove it. It's cooled down enough now. I'll remove it from the liquid that it's been sitting in and just place it on the cutting board. I'll let it drip. I'll let it sit here for another 5 minutes or so, just out of that liquid. But I don't want this to go to waste. This is all the juices that I cooked it in. It's probably still a little warm. There's a lot of good stock in there. So what I'm going to do with that, I'm just going to strain it out into my Pyrex here. And what I'll do, I'll keep this to make something like risotto out of. I'll pour a little bit of the liquid onto the meat as well, because that would just be an absolute waste of good flavour. But there's no point letting that go to waste, because that's really good stuff. Alright, so the moment of truth is upon us. I'll cut this open. I'll remove this piece of lime. That can go. That's done its job. And yeah, there's still going to be a fair bit of juice come out of this, but cut down this side. Oh, it smells like lime now, just that part. You've got this spine part here. I'll just cut it in half. Oh, there. And we'll have a look at that. So that there is the stuffing, as you can see. And that's actually come up really, really nicely. So it smells absolutely wonderful as well. So I'll carve this up. You know, obviously take the wings off, take the legs off, just that breast. I don't want to lose the skin off that breast there, but just take this Maryland part off here. There we go. Oh, it's just peeling apart. It's still actually pretty warm even though I've rested it for 30 minutes. So, yeah, I'm not, this is a home cook, I'm not a professional or anything like that, but, you know, now I've got chicken pieces enough for our dinner tonight. You know, the bit of breast, the leg, the Maryland, basically the breast, the thigh, sorry, the wing. The stuffing in there, that's just breastbone, so that's pretty useless, but we'll give this a go, we'll give this a try. Firstly, I want to try a bit of this stuffing, see how that's come out, because that's got the chorizo, and you can see how moist that is. That's actually like absorbed all the moisture out of that chicken. There. That chorizo is really nice in that. I'll add a bit of this. It's a bit of random chicken meat, and we'll you get that white wine flavour through it as well. I'll let the chief taste tester try it. That's superb. That's actually come up really nice. I'm actually really surprised I managed to pull that off of the offset, to be honest. I've done them in the bullet smoker, and generally the skin gets really tough and chewy, so yeah, we'll get the chief taste tester in and give her a go. So Louise is usually really picky with this stuff, so we'll see what she thinks.
That's really nice. I've never had chorizo in a stuffing before. It actually works really well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's actually really pleasant.
Very moist.
Yeah, I actually really like that stuffing. So that's our stuffing anyway, so that's our stuffing, yeah. So I'd recommend that stuffing any day. Like, you can add bacon, you can do it how you want. Try a bit of this breast here. A bit more of that. Look at that skin. Yeah, it's actually come up really nice. So, yeah, if you like what I'm doing on the channel, guys, like and subscribe. This is going to try to do some more stuff like this, just different things in the offset. Until next time, guys, that's how you bake a chicken in the offset smoker, so take care.